We started working on a research project with Lockheed Martin on algorithm development, particularly development of algorithms on the verification of their complex systems. These are systems that are a combination of both software and hardware. Because software is so prevalent now, verifying them is much more difficult. And so we developed core algorithms, and from that core algorithm that seemed, at least in the lab, to be very successful, we've built out products to test them in the market, and engineers have successfully deployed them in their own projects now. We've since expanded our product offerings, not just the verification of the designs, but also testing of the actual requirements, the documentation before they get to the actual design. And what brought us to this place is really working with our industrial partners and really understanding the issues at a very deep level that defense contractors are having in supplying what the government needs to execute its mission. Today, my role is I am the president and CEO. I'm responsible for the overall strategic direction of the company, and also doing all the job that no one else wants to do. The most challenging moment so far has been keeping in front of all the changes happening in the company. Because we're very small and we're growing very quickly, that means we have to have continually reinvent new processes, new way of communicating with the team, and new way of tracking our products with project. We've nearly doubled in size every year since our existence. We're 5 years old. And so really the challenge is keeping on top of everything and making sure that the processes and procedures we have in place are the right ones. And also, that's one challenge, an internal challenge. And then an external challenge is as our products start gathering more adoption in various industries, a challenge is really trying to understand the industries that are using our product and what specific needs do they have and how we can best help them achieve their own missions. I think really an aha moment came. There are several, so it's difficult to nail it to just one. One early one has been when we started talking to those aerospace engineers who are actually building the safety systems and actually doing the verification. Once we started talking to them and really understood the problems that they were having, immediately multiple solutions came to mind. And so I would say one aha moment is really understanding the problem that these industries are having and how these problems will get even larger in the future unless they have new tools that better enable them to do their work. What fires me up a lot today is really working very closely with our customers and really understanding the issues that they're having. And what I gain a lot of energy from is when people look at our products and they say, yes, I need that. This definitely solves a problem for us. And what else can it do? And they start suggesting problems that they have that we can try to expand it. And that is very gratifying. It's also a bit problematic because we want to make sure that we execute our own strategic vision, but seeing the acceptance and the validation from the market is really very invigorating. I think the best advice, maybe not the best advice, but a very valuable piece of advice I've received is to really try to understand the problem you're actually solving and the value that you need to deliver to your customers, and then build everything else around that. So one habit is every morning I try to write out in very minute detail, 15-minute increments or 30-minute increments, what the day is going to look like, what do I need to accomplish, what appointments do I have, and what gaps do I have where I can spend time thinking. So time boxing everything, writing down my daily my daily timeline of things I want to get done has really been very helpful in organizing my thought and focusing on the important decisions. I guess I would say the biggest parting piece of advice is the advice that was given to me is really try to identify the problem you're solving. Like, try to solve a problem that's worth solving. I think that, I do think that QRA is a very innovative company. We try to embody innovation in everything we do here. Looking out in the wider world, I would say groups that inspire me are people that do things that are more mission focused, and they really are aiming to really make a big difference. And so they innovate a lot, not just on their product, but also on their delivery, also on the business model, and also on things that we normally don't associate with innovation, beyond just the technology, but also the organization, how they deliver value to the customers, right? I gain inspiration from that. Well, so I'd like to think that we're changing the game by providing tools that engineers don't have at their disposal today. Particularly for us exclusively in the design phase. So there's been very rigorous engineering processes done in the middle and late stages of a big project. Relatively less is done in the early stage. And with the complexity that's present in today's systems, even more so in the future systems with automated systems and autonomous systems, the design is going to become at the forefront. So design verification is going to become, in the future, a whole new industry. Design verification engineers are going to be as prevalent and as important as test engineers are today. And we're providing the tools to enable that to happen so that when they get to the actual late stage testing, all they're finding are errors in, say, manufacturing or implementation, that there are no design errors in the later stages. Some of the biggest impediments are that the organizations themselves are very large, and who they sell to, oftentimes they sell to government, and that's also very large organizations. So there is all this institutional inertia built up, and it's very difficult to actually get into not just the supply chain, but become integrated into the process because of such a huge amount of institutional momentum has been built up over the years in terms of people and processes and technologies, that it's very difficult to make one small change without affecting, a huge change in a whole bunch of other processes. It's so tightly integrated. So it isn't ingrained in our culture because we're changing so fast, both in terms of what we can provide to our customers and also in terms of the markets we serve. The way we try to encode that mindset into the company's DNA is to have solid communication between all the various departments in the company, that they know what it is we're doing and why it is we're doing it and what we want the outcome to be. And then each individual department and each individual person at department can make decisions confident that they know we're going towards the same direction. So not everything needs to be improved. You have to empower the individuals to make decisions that have consequences. That can work if they buy into the vision and the management team can actually communicate the vision, and so everyone is aligned. It's going to be design verification. It's going to be at the early stage of the projects and programs. We know already today that most of the most wicked errors that are present in large projects happen at the very early stages, at the requirement stages where there's built-in contradictions, or in the early design stages where they're designing models of what they're going to build before they actually cut steel. biggest change and the biggest innovation is going to come in tooling and analysis and the engineering rigor that occurs at these earliest stages.